So we currently have 6 of the new Everdark Sovereign Relics, and I will be talking about not only all of them, but do they actually stack up to the rest of the naturally rolled relics in the game? Like, are these actually good, or has FromSoft been giving us slop and we haven't even noticed? So I'll be ranking them pretty loosely based on my own opinions, as well as how they fare if you're looking at a whole run's perspective and holistically looking at the amount of benefit you receive from using them throughout your whole playthrough, as well as the final night bosses. So if you want to see more content like this, subscribe, because there's nothing to talk about on Nightreign currently. Number 5, I'm sorry to the 3 people who were fans of the Augur fight, but it's going to be the Dark Knight of the Fathom. So the reason why I rank this as the lowest, and just to preface this, I don't feel like any of these relics are necessarily bad. When you're comparing them to each other, you'll begin to see which ones are clearly more favored by, you know, the director of the game. Unfortunately, I did not make the game, neither did Marlo, but regardless, in my opinion, this is the worst of the relics currently that are out. And that's because if you're really looking at it holistically, increased maximum HP, you have continuous HP recovery, as well as slowly restoring your health for you and your teammates when you're low. So for one, in my opinion, the fact that your third perk procs when you're low HP, I mean, you never generally want to be low on health anyway. So if you're playing well, you're probably not going to get to the threshold that you have to be at for this to proc. So you might not be feeling the benefit all that much. Now there is something that I will say that helps this relic, and it's that when you do get put to low HP, which you will see right here, you might think that the buff for your health regen would go away when you like get out of the HP threshold, but it will actually stay with you. I'm low HP right now. That's why I have, you know, the glowing particle Wex dust around me. But even when I heal to maximum HP, I still have the buff that's right below my stamina bar. It's the red square with the up arrow next to it. So that is something to note. You can still receive this benefit. This is also stacking with your continuous HP recovery that you have on the relic, but even still, in my opinion, because this isn't netting you any extra damage inherently, I don't feel like this is a really like great relic when you're comparing it to the other options you have available, because this is taking up a whole slot. And as you just noticed, you know, the buff ran out. So unfortunately for people who might want to play more support, this might be something you can look into, but you're not getting any extra damage. And like, I can see people who would make like the argument of like, oh, if you have more health, then in theory you should be able to land more hits because you're alive for longer. And while yes, in theory, right, that can be true, for one, it's like, it's not like you actually have a increase to your attack. You had to land the extra hit because you weren't getting any more additional damage from the relic, compared to if you were using something like 10% extra damage. Like, you would be feeling that throughout the whole fight compared to something like this. So in my opinion, it's like, unless you were like really struggling and you could use like the extra health, you can go with this relic, but in my opinion, it's not the strongest. I will say that the relic, having it on because it's increasing your maximum health, receiving more from your flasks when you heal, being that your flasks recover a percentage of your maximum HP. So that is something to note, but chat, I'm sorry, like, it just don't seem that good. It just doesn't seem like the best thing in the world, right? So that is bringing me to the number 4, which is actually the newest sovereign that got released, which is the Caligo one. I don't know if it's Caligo or Caligo. You can tell me in the comments. You can timestamp this, say wisdom, it's this, and I'm going to skin you alive because you said it wrong, and that will be completely acceptable. So if you deal frostbite, you'll go like invisible. You have your base weapon inflicting frost, as well as improved damage negation. So in my opinion, that third slot for the relic helps this a lot, because there's currently to my knowledge, there's no other relic that will actually just give you improved defense. So if you're playing someone, you know, like the Guardian, which by the way, I have a new song dropping for the Guardian. Well, it was inspired by the Guardian and Nightreign. You know, you can have a quick listen.
Watch her hold up, let me demonstrate. She said I lead the way and I don't like to play. I shift the earth with these eagle wings and I fly away when they close the range.
It's kind of fire. Right. I know, thank you. Yeah, so back to the video. So besides that is very unique for it because there's currently no other relic in the game that is going to give you increased defense. So you will be surviving longer, as well as your starting weapon inflicting frost is very good because if you decide to take that with you, you'll have that to use and you'll be hitting for 20% more damage whenever you proc frost. Now, I'm not saying the relic needs to always be like boosting your damage for it to be viable, because like that's definitely not the case all the time, but for most times, in my opinion, it is, because more damage equals to you killing the boss faster, and if you kill them faster, you know, you don't have to hit them as much because you're doing more damage. Like, it's good, and you could even have it on for people like the Guardian if you want them to live longer, but in my opinion, like, you would have more mileage out of receiving an attack boost. So for number 3, we have Dark Knight of the Wise. So in general, because this list is just ranking in general on how it can affect all Nightfarers throughout the whole playthrough, in general, this will help most people because you have an increased maximum FP bar and you also recover that FP bar on successive attacks. So this will reward your aggression. And you also have an increase to your FP bar for each rise that you unlock. Those are the big, large towers that, you know, might spawn one on the map if you're lucky. But regardless of if you actually hit it up or not, you having more FP as well as it recovering when you're doing successive attacks is extremely helpful for you spamming Ashes of War. Like if you have the Executor, right? You'll see that like I'm able to recover a lot of the FP and I can actually just keep spamming this. Oh wait, I just realized I had it on quick. Yeah, I'm like, damn, that was a little too quick. So it's a little more accurate, but you can still see that like I'm recovering a lot of the FP and I can just keep spamming the Rivers of Blood as well as like any other powerful Ash of War because I don't need to carry as many Starlight Shards because I'm recovering as I keep attacking. And it's like whenever I run out, keep attacking, I get back my FP, and we keep up a lot of sustained damage, being that I don't necessarily have to use the Starlight Shards. So I definitely think this is like pretty fine to slot on in general for like any Nightfarer, because I feel like they will like gladly appreciate the increased FP bar, but it's definitely not as strong as the top 2 in my opinion. So the top 2, number 2, not the bathroom, but number 2 is actually going to be the Dark Knight of the Baron. So this is improving your critical hits. This is stacking 2 times. So the +1 version is actually improving your crit hit by 30%, and then the base version improves it by 15%. So, and you'll also get the runes per crit, but it's not really that important. For this one, most people might be like a bit surprised because it's like you'll only get value on this when you stagger bosses, but this has a lot of value when you're playing the game normally, because if you get to learn how to play in a playstyle where you farm a lot of crit hits on people, this is going to be really good for clearing out castle, especially if you have the Banished Knight variant, because you can backstab those enemies. If you're playing people like the Executor, this will help him so much more because you farm deflects, which will then lead to stance breaks, and you can stagger bosses as well as the lighter enemies a lot more efficiently to where you can like really begin to benefit off this rune. Now, of course, not every class wants to be farming crit hits, but if you're playing solo especially, like you're going to be the one who gets that stance break hit anyway, so it's like if you wanted to slot this relic on, you wouldn't have to worry about your crit hits not hurting for a lot. So that leaves the number 1, and of course it is the Dark Knight of the Champion. So this is increasing your maximum stamina, it boosts attack power of added affinity attacks, as well as defeating people fills more of your ultimate charge. So the main thing we're looking at here is boosted attack power of added affinities, because this can combo so well with other relics, especially Knight of the Lord. Like, I cannot stress this enough. If you have this on with the Knight of the Lord, just 2 of those relics will boost your damage by 30%. And that's because with the Knight of the Lord, in case people might have forgotten, it also has a stack of the boost attack power. And if you don't know, this is boosting your attack by 10%. And because it stacks, this is going to be a multiplicative stack. So you can stack this with the Everdark relic, and this will also stack with switching weapons boost attack power. Now, I know not everyone likes to play this way, but I feel like this is common knowledge at this point. But if you switch from two-handed to one-handed, you will receive the attack boost. This does not work with every weapon class. Regardless though, for the weapon classes that it does work with, like, it will be helping a lot to have this relic on. Plus, even if like it doesn't work, you can just swap your hand and like it's gonna work anyway. So for example, if you switch from two-handing to one-handing with a greatsword, you will receive the attack buff and you don't have to switch your actual weapons. So you might have thought that was the end of the video, but no, I had to take special time to talk about the newest dog shit relic that was brought, unfortunately, by FromSoft. So new day, new fit, but I had to talk, like, I actually had to talk about the newest relic being the Dark Knight of the Demon. So, wait, let me make sure you guys can hear me. Oh, right, okay. So I think this might be the worst pile of shit that FromSoft has unfortunately given to us, because I get the fact that it's, oh, okay, Libra doing a stupid gesture to build up madness. That's the gimmick. Boom, right? But why do we get this on the Everdark version? And bro was like, it felt like impossible to beat him. And then we get this shit. You can't fit this on any build. The only way I see is like someone using this is if they already don't have a relic that improves your attack power when you get hit. And if you're playing like Raider and you're just down bad, starving in the Sahara Desert, and you absolutely need something, then just maybe I can see a person using this relic. And I'm actually so upset that I gotta put on my Marlowe head mask, because why the hell is this in the game if this can't fit on any build at all? If you can make an argument on whether or not using a gesture to build madness to then recover FP is viable in any way, let me know and I will take down this video. Because like, I am so confident that this is like possibly one of the worst relics in the game. It makes zero sense to me. Like, I think this is actually like the bottom of the barrel. He agrees, and because he's on my shoulder, I turn to a bird. But the point still stands that this relic is actually just unusual. So yeah, that's my ranking. If you guys want to see any more content like this, let me know, because Nightreign, I'm not gonna lie, has been kind of boring for me. Consider joining channel memberships as well as the Discord in the description if you're struggling with any bosses. Say goodbye, Marlowe. The people need you.